Okay, I'm going to record the workshop for April 22nd, Agentic AI for Neuroscience, Second Brain, due to the tube strike. Most people probably won't be able to join in person. So I'm going to start actually with the very basics. I'm going to go to the Skills Cookbook and go to Setup. For this tutorial, I'm going to use OpenCode with we use a API key that I'm going to share with the Slack channel. So basically no sign up, and I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to select the OpenCode, and I'm going to download, and I'm on Mac. Great. Okay, so I'm in OpenCode. Need to go to my settings, select providers, and for this workshop I'm going to choose Open Router. Click Continue, and I need an Open Router API key. Here's the key for today's session. I'll share that in Slack. Great, so models are now available. So I'm going to start a new project. I'm going to call this workshop and open. Great, so on Open Router, the models that we have available are KimiK 2.6 and 2.5 and GLM 5.1. So I'm going to use KimiK 2.6, but they're both very good. I'm going to type hi just to confirm it's working. Great. Now, if you have GitHub Copilot set up through your GitHub Education account, here is where you would go to Settings, Providers, and click GitHub Copilot. You click Public, click the link, and then you would follow the authorization flow from here. And then once you had set that up, you would be able to choose Copilot from this menu. Okay, now that we have agents set up on our laptop, we're going to begin the Second Brain walkthrough. So I'm going to click here. So the Second Brain is a concept that is quite popular in computer science about basically having your computer or software in your computer store your notes and connect ideas and topics between your notes. Here is an example blog post from Andre Karpathy, who's seems to be really good, gives really good advice in kind of the LLM space. He describes an LLM wiki, which is about building your personal knowledge base using LLMs. And the idea is that you keep storing information in a way that's accessible from your LLM, and so that you start having a resource that you can go to ask for information. So it should become more of a collaborator over time. So this is quite in-depth idea, but I think this really suits research because we have lots of ideas, papers, meetings, and work, and the aim of this is to sort of connect those and to find opportunities to kind of get the most out of the information you know. So to begin this, we need our agent, which we have, and then we need a note-keeping method. So some options in this space include Notion, Microsoft Notes. We prefer Obsidian. This is a free and open source. So I actually don't know if it's open source. It's a free note-keeping app. So I'm going to go to the Obsidian website and download it. But it's very lightweight and works like most note-keeping apps. So I'll show that in a second. We're going to create a new vault. And I'm going to put this in the workshop folder. Ideally, you would put this in your user folder because this is relevant to all projects. But for the workshop, I'm going to place it in the workshop folder because it's a test. Okay, here I'm in Obsidian. This is a note-keeping app that you can type into and connect items. I actually don't really know how to use this. I actually let just my agent manage it. So I'm going to give an example of having my agents kind of store things in Obsidian, and we can start to develop a second brain vault here. So I ran across two papers that were really interesting recently, both about ancient DNA. And so these are from the same lab and on similar topics. So I'm going to use these as an example for kind of collecting knowledge into a second brain. I'm just going to tell the agent that these files are my downloads. Go read my downloads. Go folder for 2 PDFs about ancient DNA and ingest them to my Obsidian vault. I've used some words like ingest and vault. These don't really mean anything, but just kind of the idea that the agent's going to kind of read, interpret, and then place into the Obsidian file system. Obsidian uses the word vault, but practically it is just a set of files. So the vault is what Obsidian's looking for, so I call it my vault, and it's just a handful of markdown files. So the agent's asking to check my downloads folder, so I'm going to allow it. And we see that it's searched, my downloads folder for PDFs. It's looked for the location of my Obsidian vault, which we have in the documents folder. So went ahead, it's extracting text from the documents, and it's going to create, looks like it's creating a literature section of my Obsidian vault. So if I look at the file structure of the Obsidian vault, create literature section, which is quite nice. And then if I go to Obsidian, the app, we see literature is popped up, and in here has both papers. There we go. It's even added authors, tags, abstract key findings, and related notes. So great, I found your DNA. So here's what I ingested. It's created this structure. So that's a quick overview of how your agents can access and work within note-keeping apps like Obsidian, and how they're quite good at structuring data. And this can lead to interesting things where we actually create kind of a network of knowledge because the papers link to each other. So I don't know if it's a companion preprint, but we'll kind of build on this further, but you can start thinking about how this can apply to your research and other aspects of your work. Okay, now bring it back to the Second Brain skills cookbook page, and there's actually a particular style of Second Brain kind of vault that we're going to use, and this is the Karpathy kind of wiki approach. So that we're going to ask it to make a raw folder and a wiki folder, and the idea is that you pop everything you want into the raw folder, but your agent then processes it and makes a wiki folder. So they're going to kind of structure everything, papers, concepts, and questions. And so we're going to start by actually asking it to restructure it by having the papers in raw, and then compile a wiki, a reference kind of page for it. Actually, instead of doing this, I'm going to just tell it to make these changes, and I'm sure that, and I'll update this page to follow that. So I'm going to go here. This is the LLM Wiki GitHub kind of description, and I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to say structure this vault like Karpathy's LLM Wiki. We give it a link. So it's going to go to the web, read the web page, get an idea of what it needs to do, and then it should structure the Obsidian vault in this style. Okay, so after this request, it's made a long to-do list of the things it's going to do. So it's going to create a Karpathy style directory structure with raw, the wiki items, and that's going to move the PDFs and initiate all the different spaces for this. So I'll get back to you once it finishes running. Okay, so that took 12 minutes. That was quite slow. Let's see what it did. So if I go to the Obsidian Vault, we now have a wiki and a raw. So in the raw, we have these two papers. And this is the folder or the place I'd put just information or data or papers, whatever I want to get ingested. And then in the wiki, let's see what it's made. So it's created some entities. These are people that were authors in the papers. And then this is the outline of the paper, so this is sources. So this is very cool. It seems to have structured this data well, but the exciting part is if we go then back to the agents, and if I ask, I query this and I say, tell me about David Reich. And so if this was a more fleshed out, and someone I knew or had met at a conference, and has some notes or I'd met them previously, what the agent should do is explore the wiki and not only search for the name, but actually start to connect other concepts. So it should connect different papers, maybe other people, and other topics. So maybe if I was interested in ancient DNA, there should be a concept here as well. So it's based on my wiki. Here's what we know. Key contributions. So it talks about the different ancient DNA studies, different frameworks in the papers. And so hopefully this is a kind of a provocative start to understanding the role of obsidian agents and this idea of a second brain that you can manage.